Hey guys, it's Lindsay. So today I'm going to be bringing you a video all on my favorite Morphe face brushes, and a lot of these brushes consist of the Elite 2 collection. I will be going over every single one of these brushes. I do not have a affiliate link or a code associated with Morphe at all. I've mainly just gone off of a lot of reviews and things that I had heard from other people that gave really positive reviews for most of these face brushes, and here I am giving you some of my very favorites and ones that a lot of people ask me to recommend if I am telling them about the Morphe website. It is a affordable brand that has a lot of really great brushes. There are coupon codes floating everywhere online if you're looking for a discount when shopping with Morphe. I really enjoy the Morphe brush line because I feel like there is some hit and miss brushes, but the hit brushes that I do own, they all are very high quality in my opinion, and I think they are a great bargain for the money. So all of these are very well tested, and I have used them, washed them so many times. So I have been using these for quite some time to give you a very thorough review. Morphe is kind of a hit and miss as far as their brushes do go. There are certain lines that I would stick to. Their more recent, newer launches I would stick to. Their older brush lines I would kind of stay away from. The newer launches are the ones that I would more recommend to you. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. All of the brushes will be listed in the down bar below, as well as prices somewhere here in the video as well. So I hope I am as informative as possible. I'm going to start out by showing you the very first face brush that I normally like to apply my foundation or self-tanner with. This, I know a lot of people have seen here on YouTube. This is the Morphe M439. This is a very dense, tightly packed brush that is almost like a really thick kabuki brush. I like to use this foundation brush with cream foundation, as well as my thicker foundation formulas. A more thinner formula like my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation I cannot use with this brush because it's too liquidy, as to where I love using that with my Artiste brush, oval number 6, or my beauty blender, as to where with this brush I like to use in cream foundations as well as my thicker formulas to blend out things that I find that are harder to kind of get to moving around my face. So I really like using this for things like Estee Lauder Devil Wear, my Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is a really great brush to get those products moving around your skin, and it blends your foundation flawlessly. This is a wonderful brush. I also love to use this brush for applying my self-tanner to my face and my hands. I find that because it is so tightly packed that it helps blend everything in without it getting really patchy. So sometimes whenever I'm applying self-tanner the next day, it doesn't look like I have bruises all over my face, and then my hands, like my knuckles or my wrist, it doesn't show any of the stop and start lines. It doesn't collect here in my knuckles. I really like how this blends right over in my hands, and I'm not missing any gaps in between my fingers whenever I'm using self-tanner. So this is an all-around great brush. I would recommend getting, if you like doing that method, using two. I'm actually planning on picking up another one because this is such a favorite, and I want to designate one for self-tanner and one for foundation. Next, I have two powder brushes. One is the Morphe E1 and the next is the Morphe E2. I love the E1 because it is a thicker, more round brush, and it is way more tightly packed. This one's a lot more looser and flimsy, as to where this one is very tightly packed and dense. I like using this with a powder foundation if I'm wanting just to do powder foundation for the day, or if I'm wanting to use this on my MAC. Woo, party over here. Or if I'm wanting to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and I want to add a little bit of extra coverage to whatever powder that I'm using onto my face. I like that you can use a stippling method with this powder foundation brush. Instead of doing like a buffing away motion, which would take away my product, I like taking powder straight onto the brush and then pouncing it right into the pore. And sometimes I actually find that this method actually helps make my makeup look a lot less porous. It almost gives me like an airbrush effect because I'm pushing the powder into the skin rather than wiping it away and creating a lot of micro exfoliation with my brush and a lot of texture with the foundation. Laying it straight on top of whatever I'm using or whatever I'm laying onto my foundation, it sets the powder, it sets the foundation without moving it around by buffing it away. And I really like that method because it keeps everything in place while keeping me totally set and matte. Then you might say, why would you need the E2? Well, this is a more looser, less dense brush, but it's still a really nice powder brush. You can also do that method where you want to lay the powder straight onto your face just to set your foundation. Sometimes if I'm using a more lighter, more fluffy powder, like a translucent powder, I'll take the translucent powder and kind of just pat that wherever I'm looking to mattify or set my face. I'm not looking to add coverage with that method, so doing a light dusting onto my skin and even doing that sweeping motion doesn't take away my foundation because of how flimsy the bristles are. It's just so big and fluffy, and this is just an all-around. You can use this for so many different things, but definitely using this almost as that stippling method would work as well. I like using this with a looser powder as to where I like using this with my more compact powder foundations. Now I'm just going in the order of these brushes that I normally use them. I did use these brushes today, that's why they're not 100% clean. The next brush is this Morphe E49, and this is a paddled taper brush. And I really love this for under eye setting, and this is the perfect shape. I love using this to dip into my Kat Von D contour kit. I like using the banana shade as well as the Anastasia contour kit and the Lorac contour kit. This is the perfect size to fit in a banana powder compact, and I like just taking it a little bit and then going straight under the eye. It just lays straight on the skin because of the shape of it, and it has this paddled taper up into the brush. It allows me to lay the flatter part straight onto my under eye and sets that area perfectly. You can use a brush like this for contouring if you're wanting like a super precise contour, as well as a little highlighter brush. You can buy multiples of these and that be all you need. I like that most of these brushes can be used for multiple different things, but my main use for this is under the eye. But I have not used this for contour, but I'm sure that this would be great. I bet it would be awesome. Another brush similar to the E49 is this E53. This is sort of like the Big Daddy compared to the E49. This is a larger tapered brush, and after I do most of my under eye setting and all over powder, I go in to do my bronzing and contouring. And the two brushes that I use is mainly these two brushes, the E53. This taper I like to go right into the contour area if I'm using a more cooler tone contour color, or my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I really like using that powder with this brush. Normally whenever I'm contouring with this brush, I like to take the tip right into the hollows of the cheeks, and because it's tapered, these smaller bristles around the sides help blend out whatever color I'm using, because it just lays ever so slightly on the skin and it kind of helps buff away while I'm adding color to that area. And I can also do swirling motions, and because the tip is so gentle, it applies a very light amount, so I can build my contour as I want, but it never applies it too harsh. I also like that I can put a little bit more pressure onto the brush and it splays out a little bit more, and I can use this as sort of like a general bronzing brush. I can lay it a little bit harder and kind of do a little bit more sweeping motions and cover a larger area of my face. And I noticed that using this brush, I can use it for so many different things, but I mainly like it for keeping it right in that contour area if I'm looking for it to be very sharp. The next brush, which I love to use for bronzing and also blush, this is a multitasking brush as well. If you don't notice a trend with most of these brushes, I really love brushes that can do a lot of different things, because I don't want to have a bunch of useless brushes in my arsenal that I can't use for multiple different things. It just doesn't make sense. This is the Morphe E34, and this is sort of like that big powder brush that I talked about, the E2. This is sort of like the baby brother to the E2. I like using this brush for like general blush application or all over bronzing, which is what I mainly use this brush for. I like it that it's small enough to go right into the areas where I can apply bronzer to my forehead or right here at my cheekbones. I can also use this because it's just so soft, and that's another thing I haven't mentioned. Most of these brushes, these Elite Collection brushes, are so insanely soft, and I never have that feeling of them pricking my skin as I'm applying my makeup. And it just, once I started using these brushes, I noticed my makeup did go to a complete different level. So when I'm using this brush, I normally just go all over in a general bronzing motion. I like to bring it down my jawline, and this is a really good one to help kind of like do more precise bronzer application, because it's not so large. Another one, if I'm wanting just like general bronzing and not really anything that's too precise, just something really quick and fast on those days where I'm looking to get my makeup done super quick but I need a little color to my face, I will use the Morphe E42. This brush is around the same size as these other bigger powder brushes. You might say this is way too big for any bronzing. I disagree. Most of the time if I'm going in with the bronzer, I like taking this brush straight into the bronzer. I can use this because it does have these more cut sides. I can take the brush on its side and kind of go in like this and add a sharper, more precise contour or bronze shade in those areas, and then I can just kind of turn this brush to the side and do just like general, overall, really quick bronzing. I can just go straight into my bronzer, go right in these areas, and then just kind of hit all the high points and I'm done. This is really one of the quicker ways that I get most of my bronzer, my face products on, because it's just so large and I don't have to think about applying too much product in one tiny area and then having to blend it all out. This kind of just does the work for me. I really like a simple makeup routine whenever it comes to getting ready really fast, and this really helps. Now, I bought this brush based off of Jaclyn Hill, and she's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I completely agree with her. This is one of the best blush brushes I have ever used. This is the Morphe E4. You've probably heard of this all over YouTube. It covers the perfect amount of face space. It doesn't take over your cheek, it doesn't add too much blush, and it doesn't add too little. It adds just the perfect amount to cover the apples of the cheeks, and it picks up color so nicely. I have a lot of blush, I'm trying to say this without it like screwing up. I have a lot of blush brushes, there we go, that do not pick up my products evenly, and whenever I go to apply them they become really patchy and almost skips on my face, and it's mainly due to the brush that I'm using. Because of how soft these brushes are, I don't find any problems with the blush itself skipping, and it picks up the perfect amount of product without it being too much, too little, and I'm not having to go in and repeat application multiple times because the brush hairs themselves are just not adhering to any of the product itself. So this is my baby. This is one of the best blush brushes if you're on a really nice blush brush hunt. This is the one to get, the Morphe E4. And last but not least on my face brush collection is these two. Excuse them, they are dirty. This is the Morphe 310. This is a white natural hair brush, and this is not in the Elite collection. I'll list the collection that this came from in the down bar below and where to buy this brush. And then I also have the Morphe M501. This brush is amazing if you're wanting like that super shiny, almost wet skin type of look to your highlight. I notice that if I'm ever wanting to pack a punch and really make my highlight stand out, this is the brush I go to. It looks like a large blending brush, but it's a little bit longer, and there's something about the natural hair that picks up highlight so nice and applies it just so beautifully. And it's not too big of a brush that it covers most of my cheek. I like that it applies right into the highlight areas that I need it to go. And then this brush, the Morphe M310, I like to use this for the days that I want a more subtle glow. This does pack a punch, but I do notice that I have to apply a lot more of the highlighter or pick up more product with this fan brush over the other brush that I'm using. I like to apply this straight to the top of the cheekbones, and it's almost the most satisfying thing to watch while you're doing this little motion, that glisten to start popping out on your cheek. Like, that is the best thing ever. So I like to take this on the days where I'm not really wanting that bam highlight in your face. I mean, we all want that bam highlight in your face kind of look, but on some days it's just not, it's just too much. So I like to take this brush right over the top of the cheekbones, right down the middle of the nose, across the cupid's bow, and all over into the highlight of the brow bone area. It's just, this is a wonderful brush if you're wanting to do a more subtle highlight, and those days where you are going out, you really want to pack a punch with your highlight. This is the brush to get, the Morphe M501. So that is it for my Morphe face brush favorites. That is a lot to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and hopefully it was a little educational. I felt like it was a little more educational and gives you a little bit more information and insight as to why I use the brushes that I do. Sometimes it's not your makeup products that are the problem. It's a lot of times your makeup brushes and your tools. And I always say it's your makeup brushes that should be your #1 investment, not your makeup products, because you can find some great drugstore makeup products out there, but it won't be worth anything unless you have a really good set of tools to get the look that you're looking for. And I really believe in these face brushes. These are some of my favorites, and I have a lot of different brands, some from It Cosmetics, Royal and Langnickel. I have MAC brushes. I have so many different brushes from so many different brands, but I really love the fact that these are very affordable and can be bought online, and they have a huge range of brushes to choose from. So these are my favorite. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please, 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 if there was a brush in here that is your favorite and I did not mention it in this video, please tell me about it in the down bar below. I'm always up for trying a new face brush. Trust me, I'm always for the lookout, but these are the ones I'm really happy with so far. So that is it, guys, for my Morphe review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button and like this video. Also leave me a comment letting me know what you think. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also make sure that you turn on that little notification bell in the down bar below as well. That helps out for you to see all my videos that come out on my channel. So yeah, that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you so much.